seem to choose the games they just played. Others say pandemic's number one. Will it ever change? Dice Tower, people's choice, top 100 games.
Hey folks, I'm Tom Vasel and welcome to the Keys of Florida as we talk about the top 100 games of all time according to you, or 2,000 of you anyway. And today we are into number 70 through 61. Now, one thing that people talk about with these lists is the cult of the new. No, this is not something you have to join and leave your family behind, but this is the people who, well, like me really, we always want to play new games, and that new shiny thing is more attractive to us than old stuff. But I'll tell you what, the cult of the new affects reviewers, obviously, and talks what we talk about, because why not? We want to talk about stuff that's new and interesting. But it doesn't affect these lists that much. Sure, it might show up on a list because it's so popular and new, but you'll notice there are a lot of games on these lists that have been on the list for 5 or 6 years because they are just that popular. So with that being said, let's get started into number 70. Now this one's new on the list, but it's not new game. It's been out for a couple years now, and that's Arcadia Quest. Now, several of the games that are in our top 10 today are games that are very popular with people who love them. I mean, really love them. They buy lots of expansions for them. Arcadia Quest is one of those ones. There are Facebook groups dedicated to it where people, what new stuff has come out for it. They're about to release the Pets expansion and the next expansion, and people are really excited about that because it is exciting. The game is a lot of fun, of course, going around and fighting monsters, but they're kind of just obstacles in your way to get to each other. And it's light, it's fun, really nice miniatures, Arcadia Quest. Number 69, the 4th year this one has been on the list, and that's Jamaica. Now, I remember when Jamaica first came out, it was just there was only like a few hundred copies that were in existence. We talked about how wonderful it was, we wish more people could get it, and then they made it available to everybody. And now you can find it all over the place. It's a racing game, it's a pirate game, it's simple, it's fun. Some people scorn it. You know, there are people say, only the Dice Tower guys like it. No, a lot of you guys like it too, and I appreciate that, which is why it's number 69. Number 68 is one of those Euro games that was very popular, and is still being popular 4 years later, to the point where I think I need to go back and revisit my review of this, and that is Tzolk'in. Now, this came into, vogue in 2012 because, hey, we were talking about the Mayan calendar and the end of the world, but also because it had gears that moved. But I know it's come out with an expansion since then. I want to go check this one out. I know that this game from CGE Games, and many of their games are on the list because people like their stuff, was a really cool worker placement game with a lot going on. Like I said, I found it kind of meh, but I keep running into people who say it's really good. Tom, give it another chance. Maybe I will. That's Tzolk'in. Number 67, 3rd year on the list, is Bang the Dice Game. Bang is not on the list. It probably was years ago. People really liked Bang. Having a card game where there's a sheriff and deputies and renegades and outlaws is really fun. A dice game that cuts the time in half and gives you the exact same feel. Actually, I shouldn't even say cuts it in half. Probably cuts it to 33%, really. And the Bang the Dice, they just came out with a little expansion for it, but this game just is very popular. It's also very portable. Bang the Dice Game. Number 66 is another one of those games where the fans of it buy everything in existence, and that's Memoir 44. I actually thought Memoir 44 was dead, but they just announced another expansion for it. This World War II game, which is probably the best and most popular World War II game in existence. I know. Don't throw things at me. I know that people like different World War II theater games, but this one here lets you play the Battle of Normandy, lets you play Russian battles, and it does so quickly with cool little miniatures and dice. Very fun game. Memoir 44. Number 65 has been on the list for 5 years. This is Sentinels of the Multiverse. This is another superhero game that people tend to really, really enjoy. I think it's finished now, but there's so many different characters out there. There's a good app out there that lets you play all these things together, and that is Sentinels of the Multiverse. Number 64 is one of the most popular games ever designed, and that is Magic the Gathering. I know some of you are angry because it's not number 1. Well, here's the thing, Joe. Magic the Gathering has its fans. These are people who like Magic the Gathering. They play it all the time. You go to every local gaming store in the world, you see them playing it. However, board gamers are the people who watch a Dice Tower. Board gamers are the people who vote on our thing. And even board gamers who don't jump into this lifestyle of playing Magic still think it's an excellent game. So for a board game list, Magic the Gathering here is pretty high. And it's been on the list ever since we started it. Number 63, Hanabi. Now here's where I have to disagree with you all. I like Hanabi. I think it's an okay cooperative game in which you're trying to figure out, what's in your hand. You can't see your hand, everyone else can. I think it's a fine game. Top 100? Y'all crazy. However, a lot of people obviously like it. It's the 4th year it's been here, and it's one that people like a lot, and I know it's sold quite a bit. Number 62, here's another 6-year in a row lister, and that is Kingsburg. And they're coming out with a 2nd edition of Kingsburg, and I'm very excited about this because the 2nd edition of Kingsburg is going to have many parts of the expansion, and I thought the expansion was not necessary, but pretty close to necessary in this edition, with even more stuff coming on board. So highly, highly recommend it, Kingsburg. And last for this list today is number 61 is X-Wing miniature game. The X-Wing miniature game, Star Wars, of course, is very, very popular. But flying X-Wings and TIE Fighters around and shooting at each other, come on. Now, what's interesting enough is that X-Wing ranks higher than Magic the Gathering on this list, but I'm almost putting them in the same category. X-Wing is not a collectible game. It is a miniatures game. You know what you're getting, but it's selling tons for stores, and it's the reason some stores exist right now. So very highly recommend it. So anyway, that's 10 more. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching the best games ever.
Thanks for watching. To see the rest of the top 100 lists, check out our website at dicetower.com, where you can also find The Dice Tower, the premier podcast about board games. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching
Dice Tower, People's Choice, Top 100